goes. Just the way it goes. Degrees.
Hello. Oh, where am I at? Not here. I'm here. Oh, and I am here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hookup on Music podcast, episode 12. Wow, we are moving quickly. I am about to bring out, let's not even wait here. Let's just, hello. I wanted to bring, I've been waiting for this since I started this, since episode number 1. Good friend of mine in the podcast world, Jaylan. Thank you for joining me today. We're gonna have some fun.
Thank you, Tony, for having me. As
no
always.
problem.
Yeah.
This is we've dug deep on everything from Wesley Snipes to we've went through movies from 1994. That was really fun, and here we are finally gonna talk about some music, and then we are going to break down not only the music of Vanilla Sky, but the movie too. So that's going to be a good time. But before we kind of get started, what's some of the last things you've listened to? Have you listened to anything what's the last thing you've listened to last episode?
I think I listened. Now I'm listening to a lot of hip hop.
Oh,
Believe it or not. But I think it's really cool for some scenes that I write. And also for, I don't know, some of the poetry that I write too, because there is a lot of grunge, there's a lot of violence in it. So yeah, it kind of inspires me a lot. I don't know who are the cool new guys, but I listen to Tupac, I listen to Lil Wayne, I listen to Tony Scott, Travis, all these people. So yeah, for me it's just hip hop. And then of course, like I have Ludwiko, I have, like piano music and the piano soundtrack. Stuff like that. So
hey,
yeah,
that's awesome. It's too bad that you're unfortunately, don't live around here. Just announced yesterday about 2 towns over, about 25 minutes away, Mr. Lil Wayne's coming for free to the town to like a summer fest. So Lil Wayne's coming to town. You
would
could
have been there, man. Would have been camping in this place. Let me tell you, I'd be like chilling, sitting, just meeting people and listening to music. This would have been me if I was where you are. So yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. The reason that I thought of you always for an idea for this was our very first time working, doing a podcast together. You said at the end that you liked heavy metal, and I was like, oh, well, that's pretty awesome. That was not what I was expecting in that conversation. And since then, you've said quite a lot. Some of the stuff that you like. What are some of your favorite artists?
For me, like Metallica, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Motorhead, Anathema. I like also like the psychedelic stuff, like Anathema. They have a lot of. Wait a minute, let me just look up my stuff. I like Bon Jovi, Ozzy Osbourne so much. Him, Haim. I'm all out there, but I was a big metalhead in high school because I was such.
I like all honestly on this show. on this show
with the
I like talking about all music. I love all music. So Haim, I love Haim, but then I also like, you know,
I
Metallica.
love him so much.
Yeah. It's cool to expand your, you know,
Blue
to get that
Oyster
kind of,
Cult, like a lot of shit.
oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely. But for me, metal is something that I really jam to. Like, this is me. This is real me.
Well, it's definitely something that since honestly I was 10, 11, 12, you know, it's something where, you know, you rock out, and you just can, like you said, you know, the real, you get to see the real, you know, the real you, and that's always a good time, especially when you're rocking out. Um,
Definitely. And I would screw up, everything, family gatherings. When my sister had privateers at home, I would be blasting my metal tracks and like screaming at the top of my lungs. And my parents would be like, kind of like, please, let's just get this day over with. So these are like some of my happiest times. What did you expect when we were on the podcast? What did you expect I was listening to? Pop?
no, that's what's awesome is that story right there. Every time I have a guest, there's cool music stories, and that's one of them right there.
Yeah.
You know, parent, you know,
Yeah.
I can see it right now. Because you've said a lot of different stuff about like your mom and stuff like that, so I could see it's cool to see different
Yeah.
sides, and at least they let you, you know, to a T listen to it. That's very awesome, right? You know,
We're very musically explorative, the whole family, which is why they let me listen to it. I think because each one of them, like my mom and my dad had different taste. Like my mom is such a 70s, like Bonnie M, what are they called? The ABBAs, stuff like that. And we
oh
always had
ABBA, oh
dancing
yeah, oh
queens
yeah.
in the house, and it was just all my memories as a child. Seeing her just dancing and blasting to this music by ABBAs and stuff like that, and she just loved them so much, and Bonnie M too, and a bit of the Beatles and stuff like that. So yeah,
It's always cool to, like I said, get that kind of different kind of exposure from, that's kind of how it was for me too. You hear different things from your parents or maybe other family members. Um, because are you the oldest in your family? Do you have any
yeah,
siblings
I'm the
older than you?
oldest. Can you believe it?
What?
No, I have my sister who is. Can you believe it? Like me being the oldest, like I'm
Well,
just
I'm the
a
old.
man
I'm the
child.
oldest. I'm
For
the
fuck's
oldest too,
sake.
so I understand being the
And
oldest.
you're the idiotist. Idiotist. Are you like the old idiot? Because this is me. Like my sister is 2 years younger, or like a year and 8 months younger, and she's like way. She has this sage wisdom, and she's always like there being my guru and stuff. Like me, I'm like I'm the rebel bitch kid. So yeah, you can just see me not filling this position properly. Let me tell you.
Oh well, that happens from time to time. I think with every oldest sibling, there comes revolt from the young that they think that they know more. But the thing is I always like to say I've been around for my situation, 3-4 years more. I got more wisdom that way. You may know there's stuff that you know more than me, but like, how could you know this situation with these people that have been going on a long time more than me if I've been around in it 4 more years than you or 2 more years than you? Sometimes I look at it like that. And that's kind of how music is. Music goes
Yeah.
through time. It goes through, different waves and different lengths. Another band I think you brought up, which made me think is that you brought up, I think I got a picture from here, the Scorpions, which made me I think you said one time you listened.
I love the Scorpions so much.
I
Oh my
know.
god.
And that's why, honestly, it was another excuse to be able to talk about the Scorpions for a couple minutes because I love the Scorpions too. Grew
I
up with
am
the
so
Scorpions.
much.
Energy, just raw. I mean, if besides, how much I love watching movies, another thing I love to do is just going on YouTube and watching old music videos and seeing the way the videos were shot, how it was different back then. And I mean, the Scorpions are from like Germany too, and to make it for where where you are, where I am, and hit all of those. That's why I love music because it transcends.
Wind of Change.
Oh,
Wind of Change. Oh my, I listen to it and I want to cry. I don't know why. Exactly. Let me tell you.
Next time you come on, I got the vocal. I got actually the vocals. I do a pretty good Claus main, but I don't want to blow up my vocals.
Please. Come on, let's
That
jam.
song, honestly, it gives me chills too. And you know when it really has been giving
Mhm.
me chills? Like the last year, it's been on the radio. Like it'll come on, and like if there's a
Oh,
cold wind blowing and you hear it and you hear those lyrics and everything, I think it's all. I think it's so awesome. That's why when you brought up
it
Scorpions,
helped me.
very very
Yeah,
cool. And those kind of bands influenced, as you said, like Metallica. So it
oh my
makes it
God,
it makes it an all encompassing experience.
very, very much. Because for me, I don't know, like when they've changed for me, it was the theme that I used to listen to during a certain job that I hated. So every day I would go to this job and listen to it, and you're like, "Take me to the," and I'd be like,
Oh,
"I
yeah.
don't want to go to this job."
That's all different. Hey,
So
songs can give you a bad cry for a different feeling too. Hey, I've been there. There could be a song that maybe goes to something that you don't want to remember, and you're like, oh my god, no, I don't want to go to work. No, I
I,
get you.
I remember the street, like everything, even the signs, the billboards. Oh, fuck. I'm happy it's over, but the song remains as, like a nostalgic, chilly moment for me every now and then.
That is true. That is exactly what it's meant. I think meant to do. It's meant to give that feeling
Exactly.
and sit and and stick with you. And a lot of
Yeah.
times that's honestly one of my favorite things about in the movies is the music that weaves through the scenes and gets you to remember,
Yeah.
some of that stuff, and music relates to
Wait,
music biographies.
this movie by Gaspar Noé, Love? They have this kind of like sequence, Maggot Brain. Oh my goodness, I love this sequence. Although it's a very
You mean
explicit scene.
Parliament? Are you talking about Maggot Brain,
Yeah,
the guitar song?
yeah.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my god.
Parliament
Have you
Funkadelic.
seen this
Oh yeah.
movie?
What's the movie called?
Have you seen this? Love by Gaspar Noé. You have to watch it, man.
You're
Okay,
gonna have to send me
don't
the
take it
link
from me
after
because
this. Please send me the link because I've listened to Maggot Brain about. If I knew about it, of course I would have watched it. Now I know about it. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
I don't. It's a very explicit movie, by the way, because it's a very explicit scene. Let me tell
Yeah,
you that, and you would never expect that he would use
there's
it
a
in
lot
such
of
a
it.
scene, which is why it's brilliant.
It's that if it's got Maggot Brain in it, I'm pretty sure I could watch anything. You know what I mean? As explicit as it needs to get. But that's the
You,
thing
my
though.
friend, are gonna watch it, and then you're gonna tell me what you thought of it because I thought it was
Oh, I will.
brilliantly used in this scene.
We'll break down the next time you come on. We'll break down the scene and Maggot Brain all at the same time. See?
Oh
Look at
my
that.
gosh,
It's
Megan.
that's because like even in those we've talked before in those Tarantino movies and Scorsese movies, all the music that is buried into the soundtracks that makes those scenes a lot better or better than actually that sometimes than they actually would be if those songs weren't in it.
It heightens the scene. It's like it's an epic. Although if you strip the music, it will be like, okay.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Or you put something cheesy or something on it, and you're like, "Oh, this just doesn't work." When
Yeah, exactly.
When Ray Liotta is racing around in his car at the end of Goodfellas, looking at the helicopter, and it's just like silence or something. This isn't fun. But you put that '70s
Exactly.
track on it, and you're like, "Whoa, that's good."
Oh no, yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Um, somebody who does that very, very well, which is exactly the other part of our show here today, very well, is Mr. Cameron Crowe, who
Yes.
does the wonderful, wonderful film Vanilla Sky, which honestly, I'll be frank, every time I think of this movie, I think of the Paul McCartney track Vanilla Sky. It plays in my head. And it like really honestly, there isn't a time I don't look up at the sky and I see a sky that looks like a vanilla sky and I don't think of this movie. When this movie came out, as the reason you brought it to the table, I thought it was amazing right out of the bat. What was your thoughts? Amazing? Do
Okay,
you
let
like
me tell you. There's always a story, okay, for me with movies. When it came out, one of my friends like had a major crazy fanatic, like cut it out of the magazine and just smother crush on Tom Cruise. Okay, so we had to go to Vanilla Sky. There was no other choice. Although for me, I was more of like a Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas kind of girl, and of course Wesley Snipes. Like Tom Cruise was for me like number 3, number 4. It wasn't my favorite at all. My mom, of course, was a major Tom Cruise fan. Let me tell you, she had a crazy crush on him, like Van Damme. So for me, it was like, ah, Tom Cruise, you guys, okay. But then it had Cameron Diaz, which I loved so much back then. Penelope Cruz was, I think, an unfamiliar face in a way. We've seen her in Woman on Top, but I don't think we've seen her a lot back then. So for me, she was a fresh face. So yeah, okay, cool. Let's see this movie. And then I went, and I think it defied our expectations back then. We were like, what is this movie about? We don't understand it. And I remember having discussions with my friends back then. And the friends when you have when you're a teenager are the best ever. None of them stuck around, of course, thankfully. But at the time, it was like the best of times. We would sit and analyze the movie and shit. So for us, we were like, what? I didn't understand it. Of course, one of my friends, I think, was disappointed, the one who had a crush on Tom Cruise, because she thought it was a love triangle. She didn't expect it, blah, blah, blah. But for me, it was something different, like it was unique, like it was edgy. I thought it was, wow, what the fuck? What the fuck, Cameron Crowe? And at the time, I didn't follow the director. I wasn't that big of a cinephile in my teens, like maybe when I grew into my early 20s. But back then, it was like, wow, who is this director and what does he want to say? Like, what the hell? What does he want us to do? Like, start figuring out the movie after going out. But it was an intense experience, let me tell you at that.
Did you had you seen anything like? Have you seen like Almost Famous?
No, this was my first Cameron Crowe.
First Cameron Crowe. Because that's one thing. I mean, the soundtrack of this movie's got everybody from someone like the Monkees to a band like Sugar Rose from Iceland or something like REM, Radiohead. It's very eclectic.
REM were my favorite.
Oh, I love REM too. We could talk about REM for a long time. Love REM. But that's what's cool about his movies too. All that stuff that you said, and then it's mixed with all these great songs going on in the background, which it's what we said prior to this. It's a great movie, but sometimes, especially that scene at the beginning, this is the scene that really gets me in my head all the time, is that Radiohead scene at the beginning when he's in the city and it's empty and the keyboards start playing, and it's still, I don't understand how he was able to pull off that shot, getting everyone out of that city, or it looked really cool.
It was the best, and you would never imagine it. Like, wow, you're such a badass. Who would have thought? No. And I don't know. I think it was a definitive movie for our generation too, because it gave us this foreboding sense that something is wrong. Even back then, I think it kind of like culminated my fear of technology too. So I don't know. Like for me, I think it's a very generational film.
It is. It is. It's very good, and it's got what did I do? Oh yeah, here's Cameron Crowe here in another earlier movie of his, Singles. I don't know if you've ever seen this one.
I haven't seen Singles. I gotta watch.
You really should, because you got right there in the picture. You got the singer from Soundgarden, the bass player from Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Matt Dillon.
Oh my, yeah, I only recognize Matt Dillon. I know all the bands, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's a movie that I think definitely, and that's Cameron Crowe right there, down on the right. But like,
yeah, I see him.
He's so intertwined in some of the stuff that that's what makes again, back to Vanilla Sky, so good, because by the time he rolls to Vanilla Sky, he's been doing it a while. That now he's like a DJ who knows exactly what he wants or what he needs to do.
Definitely.
But the characters in this movie, really, really, I think they were pretty well played.
And so good that he put Tom Cruise in a mask throughout the movie. For me, this was like, wow, oh my God. Tom Cruise hiding, like the Tom Cruise, you have always the Tom Cruise smile, the Tom Cruise eyes, the Tom Cruise, like perfect everything. And then you have him kind of deformed in the movie. This was a badass move for me to think about it.
It was really, I mean, when you think about the breakdown and everything, really, really awesome movie. What did you think the ending was satisfying?
I don't think anything in the movie was satisfying.
Hey,
it wasn't satisfied by anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
This is not a movie for satisfaction. It's just a movie to kind of like poke you, keep poking you throughout watching experience. And they're like, oh, okay, Cameron Crowe. Why are you doing this to me, bro?
that's hey, I like that's why I always honor your opinion, because it's amazing. You're welcome. You're welcome. Have you been to any concerts before?
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite concert you've been to?
Oh, I wish. No, I go to local concerts. I haven't been to any concerts from like the cool people. Are you serious? No. Of course, first here in
Not even
Egypt,
the
you don't
local
get a
people.
lot of
Hey,
these,
you can talk
and if you
about
get
the
them,
you
they're
can talk
like,
about the you can talk about the local people. If they rock, they rock. It's the
oh
local
my god.
people.
Okay, we have Arabic rock here, and it was insane. And we have, of course, like hip hop, rap scene, especially very, very local. Like my hometown, Alexandria, we have the best rappers ever, Egyptian rappers. And I went to
Awesome.
these, of course, with a
Awesome.
bunch of guys. So every concert, I remember it
Yeah.
with the dude that I went with.
This is
So it's
exactly
like
what I want to hear right here. This is amazing. Okay, so
exactly.
let's hear more. So, like, do they have like? So you said, is there like mosh pits and stuff like at the metal shows? Like, is it get real heavy? Is it?
Yeah, very, very. And we have, like the head twirling
That's
too, and
awesome.
the guitars. And I'd be like, I'm the crazy, of course, concert girl, as you would imagine. Like, I'd be like, yeah. And I think maybe more excited than the guys. Like, I think I used to go out with this guy who thought I was, I don't know why, like a very cool, like chill girl, okay? Until he invited me to this concert, like, let's go to this concert. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then we had this very cool Egyptian rocker girl. She was in a rock band. Her name was Mariam. Okay. And Mariam came on stage. Her hair is like wild and she's dark skinned and she has her guitarist and she's like bowling. She's just screaming into the microphone. And I went wild. I was like mad. I stood on the chair. I was like, wow, yeah. And I think it was like, I still remember even the outfit that I wore for this concert. I remember everything because I think I had long hair and I had, like this very, very red blouse that was really good. I don't know where I put it, but it was such a crazy time because he was, I think, coloring in the chair next to me. Like, why? I wanted him to just have fun. And turns out he's not the fun type. And it was I don't know, it was just me kind of like jumping and screaming and him being, like, ooh,
That's
okay.
awesome. That
So
that
yeah,
these are
but it was
exactly
good.
the
She was
stories that
great.
this is awesome. This is more than even, this is just as good as when you told me all about Wesley Snipes and how much you liked Money Train.
Oh my god. Don't start with the West, okay? Because
I won't start. We
he's
won't start with
he's
Wes.
the soft spot here.
We're still work. I still have Wesley on the he's on the speaker somewhere. We got him. He'll be coming sometime. He promises. But that's where I knew that when you started talking about, I was like, yes, that was classic at that
Oh
time when
my
we did that. But
yeah, exactly.
but what's your favorite, let's say, song in a movie, right off the top of your head? Like a song that in a scene that you enjoy. It doesn't even have to be your favorite, just something that when you think about it, it comes to your.
I don't know. I think I'll just bring up something cliche like
Do it.
Tiny Dancer, Almost
Hey,
Famous, or
yeah.
like okay, there's this really romantic scene in Moonlight where it's like, "Hello, stranger." I love this so much. God, what is
Hey.
this? Why hasn't anybody done this to me? Like, hey, Jaylan, I'm in a diner and I'm gonna cook you good food and then play you this song. Why? Why hasn't this happened to Jay? Hello. So yeah, for me, I want it to be Chiron in this scene, to be like sitting and then he opens. So romantic. What
That's the
happened?
thing.
Who's this?
That's my little my daughter here.
Hello.
Hello.
Such an awesome
Hello. We
addition
have
to
an
the
extra
show.
guest here. The TV obviously went off. I'm sorry, Jaylan. Hold on one second here.
Right.
I'm just fixing here. You never know here at the old hookup who you're going to
Run
yeah,
into.
there you go. There you go. All right. Go. Bye. All right.
Bye.
Yes.
So yeah, I love this scene so much.
Yeah.
What else? They have a beautiful song here in Vanilla Sky too, like Salisbury Hill when they're sketching
Yeah.
each other. Oh my, isn't it cute? Like
Well, that
they're just
Salisbury Hill is a great, it's a great song to be in a movie. It's almost like you ever see Say Anything with John Cusack where he holds the boombox.
oh, I love it.
It's
That
another
scene
Peter Gabriel song, In Your Eyes.
in your eyes is
You know,
so good.
these songs, they sit and they last and they stick.
Definitely.
And then, next thing you know, well, they're around forever. You know what I mean? They stick through, as you said, Tiny Dancer. There isn't a time where Tiny Dancer doesn't come on the radio and I don't go, okay, let's turn this up louder. It sticks with me. And Almost Famous, it brought it even more to the light. It brought it even more to the front. Strong, strong performance.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot when you think about it. There's a lot of scenes with a lot of great songs, but oh my gosh. I think a lot, of course, of one of these movies, Leaving Las Vegas, or the one where he dies, Nick Cage, was drinking himself to death.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This movie, he was Leaving Las Vegas, right?
Yep.
They had a lot of Sting songs, which were, oh my goodness, and they were so smooth, like jazzy and lovely. Yeah.
Really fit the movie well. You know what I mean? It really kind of did exactly what, especially as you stated, Nicolas Cage's demise. It kind of gives the smooth undertone. Where like, if it was like heavy metal, it would be like, oh my gosh, this is maybe a little too much. So
okay, slow down, John.
Cut it out, and that's what makes, I think, really, what I would say a really good experience, especially, for Nicolas Cage, considering he doesn't make it in that movie. You big Nicolas Cage fan?
Oh my! At his Nick Cage prime, like when he was all full-blown madness, like Vampire's Kiss, dancing and Face Off and all that bullshit. I love him in this.
Vampire's great. Vampire's Kiss is one of my favorites. That's a great movie. I literally used a scene from that around here. It was a long week, and I said, I'm about to take this couch and turn it into my coffin, like he does when he's like laying in it, and then like he comes out. Just the way he pretends. I'll never forget. We first saw that movie in like 8th grade. We were laughing so hard because I got the cheesiness about it. There's really a good. That's why he just came out with a brand new one called Renfield, where he plays a vampire again, and I'm curious to see if it's any good.
I have to watch it. I can't
wait. Big Elvis fan, so and we know. Oh, that's right. How could I even leave here before we leave here and get done? How could I not bring up
the other?
I cannot bring up Elvis. I cannot bring up Austin Butler without leaving this. It just
the best thing about.
I thought about Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage loves Elvis, and then all of a sudden it clicked in my head that you.
And then you have Austin Butler. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course, a musical moment, a song that fits perfectly is when he sings "Trouble" in the movie.
Oh yeah.
He's like all badassery, and Austin is like.
I think those musical scenes in the movie. I mean, he does a good. I think he does a good job. He
Me
does a really
too.
good job.
You know, like he's the other soft spot. Like you have the yin and the yang. You have like Austin, who's like like daycare crushes, and you have Wesley Snipes, who's like nighttime stay in the bar crushes. So they complement each other.
They don't know each other. Keep them separate. Hey.
Exactly. That's the best. So I think it was a bit of a contrast between.
Hey. There's nothing wrong with contrast. Nothing at all.
I think there's. What do you think? Is there a contrast between Julie and like Sophia in the Vanilla Sky movie? Because this is what I felt too. Like they're from yin and yang in a way.
Yeah. Oh, they were. Well, obviously, I mean.
Yeah.
One was going to bring you one was bringing you peace, and the other one, obviously drove him off of a bridge. And that's generally, but it's the yin and the yang to, I think in everybody's life. Sometimes it's the same person. Sometimes it's all different. That's what made the movie cool too, because like as you stated before, very, very trippy with the music and everything. But Thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
Very, very good time. Coming soon. I'm just going to share a couple things really quick here. Coming soon, and soon being at 5. It will already be released when this comes out, but I did a review, and it is the brand new Metallica album that came out last Friday. It is called 72 Seasons. Here's a cut from this this amazing new album, well, it's good. Oh. That's a clip from it. Check it out. Check out my review. It's really, really awesome. Also, really quick here before we head out here, I'm going to play our little. We got some really, really cool shirts here for everybody. So if you ever want to check some of these out, people out there, check these out. Thank you so much for joining me again, Jaylan. Do you want to share your amazing stuff that you have?
Okay, so now I'm working on my YouTube channel, just interviewing people and having a lot of friends, talking to different artists and stuff like that. I also have an article, I think, coming up in Synchronized Chaos magazine, which is a great analysis of Scarlett Johansson in some of her most prominent, or let me say, just coolest movie for me, in my opinion. Just watch me, follow me. I have a lot going on. My series, The J Days, is snippets from my life and snippets on.
It's amazing. I could speak firsthand. They're all amazing. They're all positive. They're all. That's the coolest thing is fresh perspective, and obviously, since the very first time that's what you bring to the table, an awesome fresh perspective, and I appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Tony.
If you want to follow us at the Instagram and Twitter on Hookup on Music, it is there. If you want to follow me at the Sugar Baggy on Twitter, you can do that. You can follow us. We are on the YouTube channel at the Penguin Sadistic Studios. This podcast will also be on Apple and Spotify. Lots of awesome stuff on the channel this week coming out. Please check it out. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for rocking out. And until next time, peace out.
Peace out.